Guys, do you know the feeling that you would like to have a bit more insight into a coaching or course that someone is doing? I have that often, that I feel, what is actually done there? I would be very interested to know. So this is what I want to do with this video. I want to show you one path of one of my students. And it shows one student that is working with me for a longer time. This is Mareike, and I have a nice video with her where we meet her in Hanover and we talk about how our cities are shaped, how our open spaces are shaped, because she's working with that topic. So maybe you're interested in watching that after, and I will link that video also. But what I will show you here is her path towards the muscle up. I chose the muscle up because it's very clear, like it's a very clear movement and many of you know it. And many of the things that we are doing are, let's say, for someone who has zero experience with all this stuff, maybe a bit difficult to grasp what this is about. So I choose something that everyone, I feel, can relate to. That's a strength move that is, let's say, in a sense, not super difficult or anything like this. And you know, in gymnastics, it's like a super beginner move, actually. But it's still a process if you haven't done much strength training before. And actually, there are not so many women in our society nowadays that do strict muscle ups, especially not for reps. I've seen quite a few, but it's because I'm in this sort of community. If you look at normal people, you will have a hard time finding anyone that can do a strict muscle ups. Yes, some males, but women will be hard to find. So that's why I thought that would be an interesting example, because it's not every day. So I will give you a little walkthrough here. This is plan number 1, and we started on May 2022. So this is German style here, how to write the dates. I will not get too much into details. So the geeks can, if they want, press on pause and read everything. But I will just show you what she did throughout the years until she reached the muscle up. So this is basically the proof that we started at 0. So we started with rows and we started with push-ups. This you can see here. So here's push-ups and here's rows. Different levels, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think she actually started at level 1, which means eccentric push-ups. So just negative, just down. Yeah, so not even normal push-ups in the beginning. We also added some work for the shoulder blades. This is a bit less important here in the process to see for you, but actually if you go into the detail, an important one that we did a lot of work for the scapula, for the stability there. And then we did exactly the same thing that we did rows and push-ups for the first 2 plans. And a plan is usually for 4 weeks. Sometimes people need longer. Actually, regularly people need a bit longer because everyone has chaos in their life. But Mareike is a person that is often on point with this. And this is how often she's supposed to do it in 4 weeks. So it's just 1 time a week bend arm strength and 1 time a week straight arm scapular strength. By the way, I'm not using this term anymore, straight arm scapular strength. I'm using a different term now, a different mix of exercises in that sense. I created a new category that is called mixed midsection and shoulder strength. I have a video where I explain this as well. So you could say there was not a lot of training that she did there, like 2 strength sessions a week, and this straight arm strength session is pretty relaxed actually. And in the second plan, she also did very similar, just changing the exercise here a tiny bit. But here she probably, like it's quite a long time ago, but probably she shifted either to level 2 or level 3. And she did a little bit more bend arm strength, like 1.5 sessions per week, you could say. For plan number 3, I shifted completely away from bend arm strength and just did straight arm strength. And that was most likely because I felt she needs more control in the midsection and the shoulders to continue the path of the bend arm strength. And that's actually super important and often neglected. People do too much in the bend arm while not focusing on the actual weak link that can be really often the shoulder control. And there's the nice saying, you can shoot a cannon from a canoe, but only once. So we shifted to this, but then for plan 4, we came back to the bend arm strength. And you see, we're at plan 4, we're still doing push-ups, we're still doing rows. You could say very boring, and actually that's not something that I would do with everyone. Mareike is someone that has high conscientiousness, high orderliness, and also is a person that can adapt for a long time with the same exercises. So some people need different exercises much more regularly and also don't have the motivation to stay on track with the same exercises. But here I actually have, I would say, a student that is very easy to handle in that sense that I know the person is doing the work and I don't have to do too much psychology, which is always nice. But for the people of you that are a bit more difficult, it's also okay. Yeah, I'm also happy to work with you. But this is very relaxed for me as a coach also to work with, I would say, a good student in that sense. But the other factor is that she's really progressing still with these exercises. I don't have to change it so regularly. But what we also see is there are 2 different sessions, and the second session is actually the next more difficult exercise. So here we go to a chin-up exercise and a dip exercise, and she started with eccentric chin-ups and eccentric dips. So both was done once a week, and then there was another straight arm strength session here. So now we are at 3 times strength per week, and you see the straight arm strength session is quite focused on the midsection here with hanging leg raises and also ring push-up support. So in plan number 5, we see that we really, in a sense, passed this state of doing lots of push-ups. Yeah, it's an exercise you can come back for your whole life, and I'm also doing that. I think it's a great exercise because it's so simple, and there's sometimes 2 phases where I really just do normal push-ups. So here we are at the bar chin-up, and we have these different levels from the eccentric to pause eccentrics to concentric chin-ups and then to pull-ups. And same with the dips, very similar. And a mix of straight arm strength exercises here and also work on walls outside. So this is basically parkour work, but without jumping here. You traverse on the wall, like you go sideways, you hang, and you try to climb up the wall. So here she has 4 strength sessions a week. So 2 times bend arm strength, 1 time straight arm strength, 1 time wall. I remember this was a little bit too much, especially this wall session. Because of this climber practice where you climb on top, she was not really prepared for that yet. Like technically she could do it. Yeah, her body was and her mind is smart enough to do that, but the resiliency wasn't there yet. So I remember there was a minor injury here, and I take this as my mistake, definitely. So I was a bit too excited. Let's say I gave her a bit too much. So in the next one, I think I backed a little bit down again. So here we have straight arm strength, some other exercises again. And then we still have the chin-ups like before, very similar. And then here we have a different bend arm strength that we hadn't had before. Here's also the proof that definitely she could do at least 2 chin-ups at this point. So if I write 2 to 7 reps chin-ups, this was when, there's not a date, okay, but after 6 plans, she could definitely do sets of 2 chin-ups for at least 3 sets. And usually I put these numbers a bit lower than what I think is their minimum of what they can do. So I would guess she did something like 3 chin-ups for 5 sets maybe. Yeah, this was once a week and a total of 3 strength sessions. So then we already add weight to the chin-ups actually. And we're still at 3 sessions per week, 2 times bend arm, 1 time straight arm. And in plan number 8, we then start to work on the muscle up. So something interesting happens here in a moment. So plan number 8, we are past a stage of doing basic chin-ups. She can already add weight to chin-ups, and we can slowly start doing some chin-up and dip variations that then eventually lead to the muscle up, like the false grip chin-up and the ring dip. Probably if you're new here and you don't know anything about how this is, how you need to read all these things, obviously if you start with me as a client, I explain all of this, and anything that is confusing here will be actually super clear for you. So she did this 10 times within 4 weeks for plan 8, so that's 2.5 sessions per week. So we went a little bit down. Notice also that she did not just strength, she did many other things also, quite a program with coordination and so on, because she was in my trainer education. So strength is just one thing that she did. And if you follow me for a longer time, you know that I'm not a strength coach. I'm also coaching strength, also teaching strength training. This is just one small part of what I'm doing. It's an important part because we're all so weak in our normal daily life society. Yeah, but it's not the thing that I'm doing. Plan number 9, she's continuing to work with very similar exercises, but also doing some normal pull-ups actually and overhead presses, and then also coming back to this wall practices with this climber practice where she injured before, but now with new strength, and now it's all good. Plan number 10 is also the first plan where she is going to do actual muscle ups, like eccentric muscle ups. So now she's pretty close to the muscle up. What then happens is this program that we did, this trainer program, is done, and after 1 year and 3 months she started again to train with me. So she took a break of 1 year and 3 months, and then she started again to do the training with me. And in the first plans of this, so in the first 4 months, we actually didn't do much strength training or much training that was going towards the muscle up. So we did some midsection and shoulder strength, but not so much for her max strength bent arm going towards the muscle up. So you could say after 1 year and 7 months, she continued the training on the muscle up. That's why in plan number 13, so I didn't put 11 and 12 here because it's not so interesting. As I said, there was not much in this direction. We started again to do normal chin-ups and normal dips, because she needed a reminder of that. She hadn't had done that so much in this 1 year and 7 months. So we woke that up again, but fortunately that actually went pretty quickly. So in plan number 14, we could go to muscle up work again, very similar to plan number 10, if not maybe even the same program. She is at 4 trainings here, so MSS, so midsection shoulder strength 2 times a week. So that's not such a difficult session here. So she can do well 4 times per week. And here she's doing still similar muscle up, one of these levels, eccentric muscle up or eccentric with a half concentric or muscle up with partner assisted. And she's doing pull-ups with weight in another session and some nice MSS work as well. So she's at 4 sessions of strength. And plan number 16 is the proof that now she can do muscle ups, proper muscle ups, normal muscle ups. So here I've wrote 10 reps in total in the session and then adding more every other session. That's the proof. At this point, she can definitely do normal muscle ups. So she must have learned that somewhere in plan 15, I'm 100% sure. And this was in February 2023. And you remember she started in May 2020. So because there was this 1 year and 7 months in between, it wasn't really super straightforward, but whatever, like she did lots of other things in between. This was never one of our big goals to learn the muscle up. The goal was always to go very broad and learn many different things and have our projects that we push forward. And I'm very happy how it went, like within this time frame of a little bit less than 3 years, going from 0 to muscle up. Also very healthy time frame, not pushing too quickly, because you can bring someone pretty quickly to muscle ups if you push them to train a lot, but the risk of injury will be very high. We had one tiny injury there, but that was just for a few weeks. That was a little bit annoying, and this was also my mistake. But from there, we were basically injury-free as far as I remember. Let me show you Mareike's muscle up now, because I think it looks very nice. Let me know if you have any questions. And of course, if you're interested in our coaching, just go to our website and read what we actually have to offer to you, and you can book a free call with me, a 50-minute call, where you can explain to me what you need and where I can tell you what I can give you. Lots of thanks to all my students, because it's such a pleasure to work with you guys throughout a longer time and really see this process unfold. And when I look at plan number 1 and then, plan 15, 17, plan 20, and see the progression of what you have done throughout the years, That's pretty amazing.